Watch Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat.
Whoa, hold up. Was that Derwin James? Hell yeah, it was. I probably should be a little bit concerned that Derwin James is trying to take Dan and Daygo's job as the promo reader. But who cares? That was freaking Derwin James. I got the jersey on and everything. Oh, shout out to Gilbert on the great Derwin James story where he details how Derwin became a freak athlete for the Chargers. A must read at the OC Register. Oh, and don't forget about Fernando's big story. Look at that. He has something big cooking at Sports Illustrated like Serge Gnabry if you watch German football. Speaking of cooking, welcome to the first annual Carne Asada NFL season preview presented by your Compas on the beat. So kick back, grab your favorite beverage, and get the grill going if you want. The Compas have got you covered for all your NFL season preview needs. Invited guests to our virtual Carne Asada are NFL Network's Gregg Rosenthal, the star podcaster from around the NFL, will join us to discuss the AFC teams. Then, Derwin James will stop by to preview the Chargers. He's back, baby! He's back! And he's itching to hit people on Sundays. Then yours truly, Dan and Daygo, will join Fernando and Gilbert to break down the NFC, and we'll give you our Super Bowl teams. What a jam-packed show. And this is why Compas on the Beat is running away with the Rookie of the Year for podcasting. They deliver all the best guests from the NFL world, so make sure to subscribe to the Compas on the Beat on YouTube and turn on the notifications. And by the way, some breaking news provided by Herbert. Apparently your Compas are number 8 in Denmark, so talk to everyone in Denmark. I hope I said that correctly. Also, listen to them on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, where you'll find all their Chargers post-game recaps. And of course, follow us on Instagram at Compas on the Beat. Now let's get to the best damn podcast in the universe. Play the music, Nando!
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I am Fernando Ramirez, Chargers beat reporter for Sports Illustrated. With me, as always, is my co-host, my tag team partner, the Rey Mysterio to my Eddie Guerrero. Woo! Gilbert Manzano, Chargers beat reporter for the OC Register and LA Daily News. What's up, bro?
There it is. I can tell you're a little more energetic right now. You seem happy and excited, a little bounce in your intro, Fernando, and I know why. Football's in the air. Carne Asada smell, the fake Carne Asada smells in the air because we're hosting the first annual Carne Asada NFL season preview presented by your Compas. Man, we say this every week, but like we keep saying how our guests get better and better. Derwin James, 33 for the Chargers, is on Compas on the Beat. We have Gregg Rosenthal to preview the AFC. Even your guy, I'll say my guy, Dan and Daygo's coming in to help out. So we talk about Compas, like Derwin's going to say later, the guys hanging out, having a good time. This is a Carne Asada edition of Compas on the Beat. What a show, Fernando.
That's right, Gilbert. We wanted to have fun with this season preview and give it a theme. So why not a Carne Asada with some great Compas stopping by and chatting football? But before we get to the invitees, what's your perfect Carne Asada and what are you taking or what are you making, Gilbert?
Okay. If it's, my family Carne Asada, I usually have to put in some work on the grill, get some Carne Asada, put some elotes on the grill, some onions, some shrimp. All that sounds good to me. We gotta get some hamburgers, then I get really full, ensaladas. But if I'm going to your house, Fernando, I'm gonna be the guy that's drinking. I need to have beer, and that's the perfect Carne Asada. You need some Modelos, some micheladas. And I better see you on that smoker, man. I need like the big Carne Asada. I need even switch it up. Get some ribs in there, man. Get some brisket like Justin Herbert. So the more food, the more alcohol. That is my perfect Carne Asada. And of course, energy.
If you ever made your way down here, I could hook it up with with whatever you wanted on the smoker. Sometimes I do a smoker for 2 hours with the meat, and then I throw it on and finish it off on the grill. So I definitely can do it all. 4th of July, it's all about the burgers, the hot dogs. That's what I'm making. When it comes to carne asadas, though, you're gonna laugh. I have never made carne asada on my grill. Usually it's just steaks. I chop off the steaks, make those steak tacos. You were here for one. Eric was here. Eric Williams, good friend of the show. He was here. Dan and Daygo, you and I, we all hung out. We ate some good carne asada, or not carne asada. We had steak. We had all kinds of stuff, and we had tortillas. We had everything. So that's what I'm all about. If you want it smoked, if you want it grilled, I'm your guy. I got you. That's what I'm all about. That's why I'm the chef. I'm the one that cooks. I'm slicing and dicing. I'm doing all that stuff. I need Little Daniel as my sous chef, though. He's actually a very good sous chef. Has everything ready to go. He throws everything. You know what's funny is that when we've had stuff, literally, Dan and Daygo is very chatty. He likes to chat with people. I need somebody who's efficient, who works, who busts their butt, and that's Little Daniel. Little Daniel starts running by, and he's like, "What else do you need?" I'm like, "Oh, I need you to go take this into the kitchen." Okay. Bring me out the other meat. Okay, I got you. Do you need something to drink? I'm like, "Yeah." Can you bring me a water bottle? Boom, goes and gets it. Kid's on it. So I definitely, whenever I grill, I always need to have Little Daniel right by me because I know that he's on one.
I'm surprised you're not the chatty one talkative. You're always talkative to people. So
bro.
When it's serious, because now that I think about it, if you don't even grill carne asada, you want the long form of cooking, and you really like this process. I don't have that type of patience. I love it.
Bro, when I made that brisket, it took me about 10 hours. My mom was helping me out too because it was the first time I had ever attempted it. It took us 10 hours to do that brisket. But when it came out, no tenía madre. It was that good. Like, it was so good. But I like all that process because I love when people take that first bite. And I never take the first bite. Why? Because I want to look at everybody's faces. Everybody's face will tell me if they like it or if they don't. My toughest critic is my sister. My sister doesn't really like red meats. She's not really into all that. But when she tasted the brisket, and that's not a red meat, but like, I was like, I don't know if she's going to like it. She tasted it. She's like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm like, okay, that's my hardest critic. So whenever we eat anything or I make anything new, I always look to Melissa first to see what her reaction is going to be. If it's good, we're Gucci. So definitely, I think the only thing she hasn't liked is the ribs. And it's not because she didn't like the way I prepared them. She just doesn't like ribs. But other than that, I made ribs over the weekend too for Little Daniel's birthday. 2 weekends ago for Little Daniel's birthday. I smoked them, Gilbert, for about 6 hours. So wow. I'm telling you, if you let me know con anticipación, I'll throw something on the smoker when you get here. Ooh, it's just gonna ooze it's just gonna be a thing of beauty, Gilbert.
Yeah, you're definitely getting me hungry now. I know it's a virtual carne asada with we have a theme on the show, but man, we should have a real carne asada. Like next year, like imagine having some listeners of Compas on the Beat, having some guests talking football, maybe you on the grill if you want to work and be on the mic. Man, that sounds like a year 2 thing. But for right now, I'm cool with a virtual, but I'm hungry right now talking about it, man.
Bro, you've seen I can multitask. And that's one of your biggest frustrations with me is that I'm able to do 7 things at once and complete every single task.
Yeah, and I'll say this, this week I stayed at the Chargers Media Center, and you did too as well to kind of beat some traffic. I'm not staying there anymore because you love to talk and you know how to work and talk. I can't do that. I need dead silence, Fernando, and it gets me angry how you work so fast and you're so efficient. And maybe that's why you're good on the grill, on the smoker. I need to step up to the smoker, but I'm on the grill. You're on the smoker. You're advanced in that.
I value our time when we're hanging out in the media center. But don't worry, this week I'm only probably going to stay once or twice this week. So don't worry, only twice. The other day you can have to yourself. So there you go. So it's fun though. It's fun getting back into the groove of everything, and with football on the horizon, Gilbert, there's a lot of fun going on. I mean, Thursday you kick it off, Buccaneers, Cowboys. It's the beginning, Gilbert. It's the beginning of us having no lives this whole season.
It already feels like it right now. Like so many stories that Dan and Daygo gave a shout out to my Derwin James story. Fernando, I don't know if you're ready to kind of reveal yours, but you have something cooking as well. I'm excited to see your story. But this first week before we get to the NFL season, the real season, reporters are swamped, man, because we have so many season previews. Our editors want game by game predictions. How does the offense look? Special teams, defense, a bunch of prediction stories, and you have the big features like my Derwin James story, and I have a few more coming out. So this week I'm just dead tired, but it's kind of fun to come out here on the podcast to talk football with yourself and Dan and Daygo, Derwin James, and Gregg Rosenthal, my former boss. So I'm excited for you guys to watch this preview show.
I've been there every step of the way with Gilbert and this Derwin James story, and I'm telling you, I'm excited to read it. Gilbert has something else cooking Sunday before the game. I'm very excited about what he's going to throw out there. So everybody, don't forget, check that out because Gilbert's going to have some good stuff. I have some stuff cooking too. Just like Gilbert reiterated, the story that he's waiting for is a Joey Bosa story that I've been working on for a couple of weeks. Should be a good one. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. It'll be a little bit long, but it was put together. I hope very well. I hope people enjoy it, and it gives you a little better sense of who Joey Bosa is. So definitely, we have a lot of fun stuff coming up, and like we said, we have a lot of fun Compas things to do. I kind of feel like we kind of use this podcast to kind of relax, kind of shut the world out, and we kind of just have fun. We talk football, we have great guests, and we just it's just like hanging out with your compas, literally.
Hey, that's the name of the show. Definitely, you gotta have fun with it. Obviously it's a job for us, but we also have fun with it, and having like yourself and Dan and Daygo around, I'll give them a compliment. It's makes a job not feel like a job, and have some fun while we're at it. But I really hopefully think in the future we can have a real Carne Asada to preview the season.
Oh, I definitely think we can do something. I mean, obviously you won't be here for the bye. I was gonna invite you for the bye week, maybe come down, but you ain't gonna be here. So I definitely we'll find another way to kind of sneak a kind of maybe that Thursday night when the Chargers play the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe that weekend you can come down. We can watch some Sunday football. I'll turn on the smoker and the grill, and we can just have some fun.
Sounds like a good plan to me, man. Let's do it.
All right, but for now, I'm hungry, Gilbert. Let's get this started. Let's kick off this Carne Asada with Gregg Rosenthal, Gilbert's former boss. Is Gilbert a good worker? We'll find out from Gregg. He has the lowdown on how Gilbert was as an employee. He'll join us to preview the AFC. Then we will have Chargers safety Derwin James to preview the Chargers, give us a little insight about him, and there's some things you guys don't know about Derwin, so keep it here because Derwin's gonna bring it all. And then we got Gilbert's boy, his best friend, their besties, Dan and Daygo will join us for the NFC preview. Boom, Gilbert. Let's go. Here's Gregg. Let's get this started. I'm hyped. I'm excited to introduce this grand guest because he used to be Gilbert's boss, and he was always known as the boss around the NFL podcast, but he prefers to be known as Gregg, but with that double G at the end like Snoop Dogg, which is fitting because Gregg is a hip-hop historian, and he's also a tennis historian. We, of course, are talking about the great Gregg Rosenthal, writer at NFL.com and founder of Courts of Thunder podcast. Gregg, how are you? And please be honest with me. Was Gilbert a good employee?
He was a great employee. Why do you think I'm doing this podcast? I wouldn't a lot of these other guys out there forget about. No, he was great. You did your homework there, and you even gave the little Courts of Thunder, my tennis podcast plug, because we're ramping up here for the US Open. Even though football's starting, but we got some tennis too. Gil was great. Of course he was great. Look at it. Look how well he's doing now.
Thank you, Gregg. And I just wanted to share a story before we start, talking about football, Gregg, because I made sure Fernando knew and did his homework for the introduction, because he used to kind of quiz me at work if I used to listen to the podcast. And at the time, I wasn't really, a regular listener of the around the NFL podcast. But now it's my favorite podcast. You can ask me anything, Gregg.
Really?
I will pass any quiz of the ATN or ATL podcast.
What? And I'm supposed to give you a quiz right now?
No, I was hoping you weren't. I just want you to believe.
No,
I think we should.
But I do listen regularly, though. I like it.
What's something? Give me Keith Hansis, that dad's nickname for Matt LaFleur. That's a tough quiz question. We're going way too deep.
That is okay. I just you caught me. But I do know he's a regular on the show. He comes in and he complains about the Jets doing poorly, and I love it. It's kind of like a voicemail.
the bearded little boy, which was just the most derogatory name possible. And now Matt LaFleur's out here 26-6, looking pretty good.
But I do know that he's a big fan of Jimmy Garoppolo's boyish looks, a good looking man. I know that.
There you go. Yeah, we probably talked too much about, quarterbacks looks on our show. But I appreciate it, Gil. That's awesome, man.
Greg, before we preview the AFC conference, I got to let you know that the theme of the NFL, this NFL season preview episode, it's a virtual Carne Asada with the Compas. For Mexicans, a Carne Asada basically means a party, a barbecue, a cookout.
Okay.
So you're the first guest to the Carne Asada, which is funny because every Mexican party has a white person who shows up first and leaves first. So how do you
I
feel
wouldn't
about
leave,
getting an
though.
invite to our virtual Carne
No,
Asada?
I wouldn't leave. You gotta invite me to the real thing too. Forget this, virtual Zoom stuff, because I want that. Like, I always think, like, if I ever left SoCal, which I'm not looking to do. My kids are in school. I think they're gonna go all the way through high school here. But like the two toughest things to leave would be the time zone for football, I think, and the Mexican food. Those are the top two things that I would miss from Southern California.
There you go,
Yeah,
Greg.
definitely.
Well, I don't know if Fernando told you. First of all, let me let you know. I gotta let you know what compa is. It's just pretty much friends, Spanish slang for homeboy, I guess. Is that the right word, Fernando?
Nice. Bro.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. But Greg, I know it's not the real deal. No food out here. But I know they also, for Mexicans, we don't really play cornhole, but I know it's a big deal for the Around the NFL podcast. You guys like to play, get really competitive. So just pretend we have cornhole at this party, and if we ever do get together, we will have it. We'll make sure just for you, Greg.
I don't need any cornhole.
Okay, you don't get as competitive as Dan and Mark get.
No, I just kind of sit on the side. That was kind of Dan and Wes, Chris Wesseling. They're very competitive. They were competitive at the corner. I was kind of the guy on the side, just having a drink and cracking jokes.
Okay, that's why you're perfect for the podcast. You like to chime in and give us your great analysis on football. But before we get started, let me ask you a question about food, because Mexican parties, we will have a taco guy, a taco stand. So when you get to the taco, el taquero, what are you ordering? How many tacos and what is your favorite meat to order?
Al Pastor.
Okay.
Sure.
How many?
For sure. I mean, depends how big you kind of eyeball it. 3 probably, depending on how big the tacos are. But then mix it up. If they have the fried fish, get a fish and Al Pastor. That's usually my go-to.
It sounds like Greg that he's saying that's how I'm going to start. I'm going to start with 3 Al Pastor and then see kind of where we're at, and then we'll go for seconds.
Yeah, keep going.
Greg, now that you have your invisible food, let's preview the AFC. Let's start with the AFC West. Gilbert tells me that you're all in on Teddy Bridgewater and the Broncos. Is that true? And where do you have the Broncos finishing in the division?
I guess I have them second. I got to start writing these things down for the NFL.com. Are you both Chargers fans? Well, Gil can't be a fan. He's like the beat reporter. But were you a Chargers fan?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, no, you weren't. What about you? No, neither of you?
Growing up, I mean, I'm from San Diego, so like that was the team. But like, I don't care either way. I'm surprised that you have the Broncos second in the
Wait, I want to get into this because like Chargers. I am curious about how this is all going to work. Now they're moving into the new stadium. I was there at the last, what people thought was going to be the last Chargers game. Did a whole story on it, like hung out with everyone, grilling, with all the weed smoke around me. And it was like beautiful. It was a beautiful day. They thought it was the last game. They ended up firing Mike McCoy that day, I think, too.
I remember.
And then they did, even after all that, after Eric Weddle does the whole thing in the stadium, says goodbye. They came back for one more year, but I'm like curious, like what? Yeah, so you gave up on them when they left. Like what?
No.
Chargers fans are you never
like
even?
No. It's not that I gave up on them. I started doing media and stuff. So like I left the fanship. I started like being around the team in 2013. So that's when I left the fanship behind. And I was like, okay, I need to be dedicated at this because you can't. I mean, you can't. To me, you can't cover the NFL or a team and be biased or have that fanship. So I completely left it behind, but like my little brother's still a huge fan. My cousin's a huge fan. My best friends are still all huge Charger fans.
Okay, so they stuck with it.
Yeah, they stuck with. A lot of people in San Diego actually stuck with it. That's what I was telling Gilbert is that I went to Keenan Allen's camp. He had it down here in Torrey Pines a couple of weeks ago, and there was over 300 kids that participated, and a lot of Charger fans there with their gear. And I was like, "Are you guys all like still Charger fans?" And I asked a couple of people, and they're like, "Hell yeah! Don't listen to the media. Like, we still love the Chargers down here. Don't listen
We're
to
the
local
media, Fernando.
No, well,
Listen
he
to
said don't
us.
listen to the local media down here. Like, we're
Yeah.
still fans. We love the Chargers, and we're still gonna like." A lot of the people said, "Yeah, I have season tickets for SoFi." So it's gonna be interesting to see how many SoFi season tickets are from San Diego.
Well, it makes it easy when you stumble into like the best quarterback pick possible, like one of the most exciting quarterbacks to come into the league in the last 15 years, to go from Breeze for a minute to Rivers to Herbert. Like, you should be a fan, and I'm excited about the Chargers too. I think the AFC is better than it's been in a long time. It's really deep. I think you could go 10, 11 teams and be like, wow, those look like playoff teams. I think they could make the
all
playoffs.
have young quarterbacks.
And I think they could make the playoffs in the NFC, but it's going to be tougher in the AFC. I give the Broncos a little bit of an edge over the Chargers because I think the talent around Teddy Bridgewater on offense is unreal. Like, KJ Hamler's their fourth wide receiver, and he's a baller. Jerry Jeudy's a 1. Cortland Sutton's a 1. Noah Fant could be a top 5 tight end. And they got backups that are better than some team starters. Albert Obui-Kunum, the tight end, I really like him. Like, they got a lot going on offense, and then their defense on paper to me is a top 5 defense. And the problem with the Chargers, why I just slot them like one spot behind, is I just don't know what that offense is going to look like with the transition. Offensive coordinator was not impressed by Joe Lombardi, in his previous stops, particularly. I do worry a little bit about, could Herbert take a step back? And it's just a little more unknown. I think they're going to have a winning record. And, I think they could make a wild card spot, but it feels tough to pick 2 for the wild card in the AFC West. So I have the Broncos second. I think the Broncos could be nasty. They're going to be a lot to deal with because no one is throwing a secondary at the other quarterbacks in the AFC West like the Broncos will be.
What are your thoughts on the Raiders and the Chiefs?
I mean, the Chiefs, to me, you just pencil them in for like 12 wins like you did with Brady throughout the Patriots era. And then you see, is this a bad Chiefs year or a good Chiefs year? To me, it's hard to tell going in, but I kind of just pencil them in as one of the top 2 or 3 teams. And whether it's like they're as good as they were a couple years ago or whether it's a little more competitive, we'll see. I think they have questions on defense, the depth in their offensive talent, but I just believe in Mahomes so much and Reed that I slot him first every time. And it's like, who's battling for second?
Or Greg, I should probably ask you a football question, but I can't stop looking at your turtle picture in the back. What's the backstory on the turtle?
I do another podcast. I could do too many podcasts called the Jesselnick and Rosenthal Vanity Project. And we had a sponsor called Paint Your Life, who they do any painting you want of any photo you want. And so we had just lost our pet turtle, just died. My wife kind of killed him by mistake, left him out in the heat, and our kids were sad about it. And we thought it'd be funny to get them to paint the turtle, put that up. It just makes me laugh.
Are you kidding? Like, to me, it's the I like football behind him. I think that's even we went to a community college, Santa Monica Community College game like 3 years ago, and my daughter made that sign just to hold up, and I always thought it was cute. They're both huge football fans. My daughter's a huge Rams fan. They like the Chargers too. We went to SoFi for the preseason game, and she held it up as like a 5 or 6 year old. I thought that was cute. That's awesome.
I like that, Greg. And now that I think about it, Greg, I think on going back on the whole fandom thing, I think you probably got me confused because I might have told you that I grew up as a Vikings fan, so Teddy Bridgewater was my boy at the time. So I'm kind of have like a soft spot for Teddy B. So when I see you tweeting about him, I'm like, okay.
So now he's Teddy B.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not root for him? Like, I now that I'm older and stuff, like, I root for players more. I still root for teams. It depends on the year. I do keep my fandom. I don't go cover them in person, which helps do that. I just root for who's a good story. And to me, Teddy's just an awesome dude, and he's more fun to watch than you think too. He's good in the pocket, and I've always thought he's a little underrated. So I like him landing in such a good spot. I really think this is a good division, though. Like, the Raiders, they could be okay. I'm not totally believing that they're just going to fall off a cliff here. Like, they've been a solid team the last couple of years on offense.
Well,
Okay.
and I mean, John Gruden still has 6 years left on that contract.
All they got to do, if they had the 18th or 20th ranked defense the last 2 years, they would have made the playoffs. He is an offensive coach, and I think he's kind of delivered on the offense. Derek Carr is better right now than I think he's ever been, and I think they could be okay. Like it's a fun division. Any of those games to me should be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's very, very intriguing in the AFC West, and seeing what Gus Bradley, former Chargers defensive coordinator, what he does in Las Vegas should be interesting, because a lot of the former players are going over there. It's kind of Chargers 702 Sin City.
They were a little underachieving though with Gus Bradley, don't you think? I know they had a lot of injuries, but I never really. They had like one good year under Gus Bradley.
Yeah, 2018, and then it kind of fell off last year. It was pretty bad for Gus Bradley's scheme there.
And
but
fans got frustrated because there was no blitzing, no disguises. It was just all plain. So I don't know how the Raider fans are going to feel about that.
But Greg, let's move over to the AFC North. Speaking of fandom, our guy Mark Sessler is a big Cleveland Browns fan. He talks about it in the pod a lot. And it could be Mark's year with the Browns. They're pretty stacked when I look at them and position by position. A lot of great talent. But you still got the Ravens, you still got the Steelers, and we'll see how Joe Burrow does with the Bengals. But kind of give me your assessment of the AFC North, and are the Browns the team to beat right now?
I'm really torn over who to pick for the playoffs, because if you put in the Broncos, which I'm going to do, if you put in two teams from the AFC East, I think the AFC East could get two or three teams. That division looks better than ever. Like the AFC is so deep. I'm toying with not putting the Browns in the playoffs at all, because I do like the Ravens just a little bit better. I trust their organization more. I trust Lamar Jackson a little more than Baker Mayfield. You do worry about like a team that improved as much as Cleveland did a year ago. I know their defense, they added a lot of pieces. It looks like it was smart. But you do worry about when you make that big of an improvement, do you step back a little bit? And it's a really good division. I think the Steelers can still be a playoff team. That's what I mean when I'm talking about the AFC. I think you could go three teams in the West, the East, and the North that are like legit playoff type of teams, where if they were in the NFC, I just would put those teams in, and that includes the Browns and the Steelers, like whose defense is loaded. I think it's a toss up. Like all three of those teams, I don't see them separated by much. I'm leaning on Baltimore because I usually just kind of lean on what I root for, and I love watching Lamar Jackson play. And they're a team like the Patriots. They're always better after Thanksgiving. Like they're going to have these issues early in the year, and their defense, especially with Martindale, like they figure out what they have, what they don't have, and they're a lot more to deal with down the stretch than they are at the beginning of the year. And I guess I haven't seen that from, the Browns defensive coordinator or their offense like year after year. I kind of want to see them back it up.
Greg, in the AFC South, it seems like Julio Jones and the Titans are the clear favorites to win in that weak division. Do you agree, or do you feel like people are looking past the Colts? And what do you think Urban Meyer's first year is going to be like?
I was on the like kind of rooting against Urban Meyer train pretty quickly, just because he seems so full of himself and he has so many friends in the media. Like that is always the combination that bothers me. Like, remember, no one ever criticized Jeff Fisher for like 5 years because he had so many friends in the media. And it's like everyone worked with Urban Meyer at Fox and other people. He worked at NFL Network too. And it's like, I don't think his approach is necessarily going to work. And I don't like the coaching staff he put together. So I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence. I think they could have some problems. I do think the Titans are the favorite. I think the Colts aren't necessarily upgrading at quarterback. I think it's a downgrade going from 39-year-old Phillip Rivers to Carson Wentz, even if Wentz is healthy, to me is a downgrade. And they don't have a left tackle right now. They're asking for a lot of young players to step up on their defense too. So I think they lost a lot in the offseason. I do think the Titans are the favorite.
Greg, we got to ask you, because Fernando's brother, he's known as Dan and Daygo in this podcast. We have a running bit or storyline that Dan and Daygo loves Tim Tebow, and he's kind of down in the dumps right now because he didn't make the 53-man roster. He got cut pretty quick, and I know Dan is listening. He's probably mad at me for bringing it up. But Greg, what do you think about the whole kind of, I don't know, should I call it a sham, having Tim Tebow on the roster? Are you a little surprised he didn't make it as far as we thought he was going to make it? Maybe down to the final day?
I mean, no. what's that saying? It's like, don't be sad that it's over. Be happy you got anything. What was the point of bringing Tim Tebow in there? I never thought he had any chance because playing tight end's hard, and he's old. Like, he couldn't have played tight end at his athletic peak, and he's not at that now. It's just like they talk about these things. And here's a good example on Jacksonville. Remember, Travis Etienne, who's out for the year, is too bad. Urban Meyer was like, yeah, maybe we'll play him at receiver. And someone followed up on that midway through camp to Bevel, their offensive coordinator. And he's like, yeah, nah, he's a running back. It's like, you can't just like change positions in the NFL. This is not the SEC where Etienne's trying to beat like Mississippi's linebacker. Like, it's not going to happen for you, much less Tim Tebow trying to change from quarterback to tight end. So how many more goodbyes do we need? I feel like we've said goodbye to Tim Tebow like 6 different times at this point.
My question about this whole thing is, like, if Urban Meyer just completely flames out, kind of Nick Saban-esque, will he jump back into college football and try and get people to forget about his NFL failure and be like, hey, don't forget, I'm a great college coach too?
I'm glad you brought up Saban. That's a great example, because you know what? He didn't flame out in my mind. I remember those teams really well. He went 9-7 that first year with a bad Dolphins roster, and I remember how furious he was the whole time. Like, they went 9-7 with a pretty bad roster, and he was like angry. And when I saw Urban Meyer on the sideline in that Saints game in the preseason, his head ready to blow off, and like, I'm just thinking, A, this is a bad coach for Trevor Lawrence, and B, how's he going to handle going 4-13, 6-11? He's used to having his players be way better than the other players. He's used to winning. So is Trevor Lawrence. Like, Nick Saban could not handle going 9-7. They went 6-10 the next year, and he was out. He was out after 2 years, and I could see a similar sort of thing where it's just like, you're not used to losing, and this is going to take a minute to build that team up.
I don't remember who told me this story, but I heard that somebody had a heat stroke during a Nick Saban practice.
Yeah, I remember that.
Steps over the player and goes, "What the hell are you guys looking at? Get back to work." And I was like, "Geez, like, that's just how Nick Saban is, I guess." But I thought that was so interesting. The story, just the whole aspect of when college coaches come to the NFL, and I feel like that's why guys like Lincoln Riley might stay away from it.
I don't think their egos can handle it. Like, you gotta. Doesn't mean that NFL coaches don't have massive egos, but you have to sort of be humble enough to understand what the game is, and the game is going to be like, you got to be happy to go to 11, and you got to work your way up, and you're going to lose 7 times, sometimes even in a good season.
Speaking of losing, Bill Belichick is kind of not known for that, and he had a losing season a year ago. So let's get to the AFC East. Greg, you kind of mentioned it. Your team and the Throne of East. See, I listened to the podcast with New England, not doing so well, but they have Mac Jones now, Cam Newton, kind of a fun little quarterback battle. The Jets, Dan's team has Zach Wilson. It seems like he's a fun player to watch. And then 2 on the Dolphins can make some noise as well. But it seems like the Bills might be the team of that division. What's kind of your assessment overall for the AFC East, which you kind of view already? You mentioned really competitive.
I think it's the best AFC East in 20 years, since like right when Brady got there, it was pretty competitive. Or in the couple years before that too, even with Bledsoe, it hasn't been that good. That's where I'm trying to squeeze in 3 AFC East teams. I'm thinking of putting the Dolphins in the playoffs, the Patriots in the playoffs, and the Broncos in the playoffs, and only one gets in from the North. Because if you look at the out of division schedule and the strength of schedule at Football Outsiders, which I trust they're kind of DVOA, the AFC East kind of has an easier schedule than some of the other divisions. It'll be tougher in the division than usual, and the Dolphins are just better than the sum of their parts. They really are good at game planning, and I think Tua looks a lot better this year. And I think the Patriots, I'm kind of optimistic about how their defense is shaping up. I think adding Kyle Van Noy and Dante Hightower back, they have some young players. I think their defense is going to be a lot better than it was, and I think Mac Jones will probably be their quarterback. I'm starting to think week 1, and if it's not week 1, it'll be sooner than that. And so I could see all 3 of those teams making the playoffs, but the Bills are the favorites. So something has to go seriously wrong. To me, they might be the AFC favorites, certainly co-favorites with the Chiefs.
That week 4 matchup, I'm so intrigued for it. The Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh my god!
Is it going to be Mac Jones and Tom Brady? That's the real question right there.
know that like that's the Super Bowl for Bill Belichick. They say, he pretends like this stuff doesn't matter to him, but of course it's gonna matter to him and that Patriots team. I think the Bucs are gonna come out fast, and the Patriots usually better at the end of the season than they are at the beginning. But there's a lot of reasons to think the Patriots will bounce back. Their offensive line really is built to run block. It's a really good veteran offensive line, not really a weakness anywhere on that line. And so if you can protect, you can be average on offense, and I think the defense will be a lot better than that.
And they have a good offense or a good running back group too. Hell, they just
really good.
Sonny Michel away, and they still have 3 or 4 really good running backs.
All right,
They're gonna be something to deal with. I think Bill did not like being a loser last year. They were lucky to win 7 games. Chargers fans wouldn't think that because they dropped a 40 burger on them. But other than that game, they did
45-0.
For the most part, they kind of looked like a 5-11 team that won a couple extra games.
That's how we knew last year, Greg, that this Chargers team was really bad. A year ago, when you lose to probably the worst Patriots team in the last 20 years, 45-0, you're not doing anything right for that team. But Greg, I know you're busy. You are on NFL Network. You're on TV. You got 3 podcasts. So we gotta let you go. But before we do, Greg, I know you're big time. I want to take
no hurry.
Well, then okay, we'll buy some time. I know you want to buy some time for what I'm going to say next, because I want to take a second and remember Chris Wesseling and extend my condolences for such a big loss for you and even for me. I got to know Chris when I worked at NFL.com. I got to know his wife Lakeisha, and I always admired Chris Wesseling as a writer, as a person, his knowledge for football, and his whole approach. He's kind of not the most talkative guy, kind of quiet. But when it came down to actually knowing what you're talking about, nobody did it better than Chris Wesseling. But also in the podcast, he was very outgoing. The mailman, very personable. So I think you guys and Dan and Mark having fun with Chris. I really love those episodes. I'm getting to know him from a different point of view. So again, my condolences to you and the whole Around the NFL podcast family and Lakeisha. It was a sad day for me when I found out because Chris was big for me during those 2 years I worked with you guys at NFL.com.
Yeah, he was a great dude. Like, that was back when I was a boss of some people, and technically his boss at Roto World and at the NFL. But I looked up to him because he had a great perspective on life, and we were good friends. And he helped me actually decide to get out of the boss game, to like kind of follow what you want to do in life. And if that's not it, then do that. And that's how he approached life. And yeah, Keish is still one of my best friends, of course. And so we miss him, but we keep doing our thing and in spirit. And we love talking about him. And so I'm always happy to talk about him and keep his name alive. Appreciate that, Gil.
Yeah. Greg, before we let you go, I need to ask that shirt. Who
oh
is it?
Yeah. This is a Kemba Walker shirt.
Walker.
This is definitely like I'm not doing any other thing on camera.
I was
today,
racking my brain. I thought it said Booker at first, so I'm like, oh, maybe he's a Devin Booker fan, but okay, it's a Kemba Walker.
My son's name is Walker, and so we're big on just like getting him lots of things with his name on it. And I'm a UConn basketball fan, so when Kemba came to the Celtics, it was like I'm a huge Kemba fan, even though he's not quite the same player as he was. But I still rep for him. I'm gonna have to watch.
So did your son have a Walker Texas Ranger shirt or anything like that?
No, but he was watching the draft and he was like, I got a new favorite player, Walker Little. I don't know if you know who
offensive lineman.
He's a tackle on the Jaguars now. He's
Yep.
like, I'm Little Walker too. I'm like, okay, we got to get you a Walker Little jersey now.
Awesome.
Is that Walker behind you in the picture right there next to the Lock It Up trophy?
Yeah, that is. That's my son and daughter now. They're in
awesome.
1st and 4th grade, so I'm getting up there. Got some old kids.
Oh wow! Congratulations. Well,
thanks,
Greg, we appreciate. Anything else you wanna say before we let you go here?
No, I mean, I'm disappointed that Gil's just like trashing the team he covers, but I thought this was like more of a Chargers podcast or what. So because I'm kind of into
reporter, Greg.
I mean, I was such a big Phillip Rivers fan, and I've pretty much jumped right over to Justin Herbert. He's got to be in my top top 3 favorite players right now in the NFL. So, and Rivers was right there. And it was like a seamless transition for me. So I'm kind of a sneaky Chargers fan, but I guess you're not.
I was gonna say, Greg, I listen to the podcast regularly, as I keep saying, so I want to let you know that I do listen. I'm not the same guy from 5 years ago.
I don't care if you listen. Back then I was just giving you grief because it was like you worked there. I don't care. I'm always surprised that anyone listens.
It's kind of funny because I was thinking to myself, like, is that a job requirement to listen to a podcast? And I was really freaking out, so I really got into it.
That was my sense of humor, probably at the time. I'm sorry that you took that too literal. Yeah,
I don't keep any alarm, but there was another story where you quizzed me again. And maybe this is my fault because I did say it in my interview. I told you that I really love football. I will watch any game. I don't care who is playing. It was like a Thursday night football game. It was the annual, bad game between the Jaguars and the Titans on TNF. And one day you came by my little office or desk, I guess, in the back. You asked me, are you excited to watch this Thursday night football? And I told you, why would I watch these 2 terrible teams? And you called me out. Like, I thought you cared about football. I thought you loved football. And I felt like, oh man, I'm a liar now. But I told you the truth that day.
That was probably my sense of humor again. But yeah, some of those were rough. Little Blake Bortles versus like early Mariota. That they always sneak that one into a TNF. I think this year that's been replaced by there's like a Texans Jaguars game in week 3 TNF or something. So
hey, Trevor Lawrence versus Tyrod Taylor.
Wait, that's week 1, so that can't be right. Now that I think they here, that's my here. I'm gonna give you a big week 1 pick, right? Before I leave. I'm really feeling the Texans somehow as home underdogs week 1 over the Jaguars. Like this Texans team, I feel like is gonna be like kind of like the Dolphins under Brian Flores. They'll win 4 or 5 games, and everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, they're actually," they'll be impressed with that.
They have a lot of good players under 1-year contract.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. It's more like an anti-Jaguars pick, so I think they'll be better than the Jaguars. That's
Fernando
for you.
So you got them winning?
I got them winning. That's it.
All right.
Nice little home upset. I'm locking that up for week 1.
So like you're locking in right there. We're locking it in. Greg Rosenthal.
Yeah, I'm locking in the Texans.
What is it? Make it rain, Greg? I remember that. Also, that little bit you had.
Well, Greg, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining Compas on the Beat. You're a compa. Anytime you want to jump on, we'd be excited to have you.
No, that would be fun, but I'd be more interested in the real life tacos.
There you go. We got to make it happen, Gilbert.
Let's do it.
We got you.
All right. See you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very, very special guest. It is, him, number 33 on the field. He's probably number 1 in your heart. That is Chargers safety Derwin James. Derwin, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just chilling, man. Getting ready for this season to kick off.
Thank you so much for joining Compas on the Beat. We're excited to have you. So basically, we kind of explained it to you. This is like a virtual Carne Asada. We're having fun. We're hanging out. What kind of tacos do you want, Derwin?
Man, I need at least some steak tacos if you're gonna do it. You know what I mean?
How many are we gonna get?
About four of them things a piece.
Let's start with.
Yeah. Them are the appetizers, starters.
Okay. Derwin, when you go to like a barbecue, what are you taking or what are you eating? What are you looking out for?
If I'm going to a barbecue, you gotta have ribs, you gotta have chicken wings. I say, I'm a shrimp guy, so I gotta have some shrimp on the grill too.
Is the food out different in Florida? The shrimp is that better tasting out there?
Oh yeah, it's a more country, more laid back than out here. City like out here.
Have you ever had like smoked alligator or any of that? Like
yeah, fried lobster, gator tail. We didn't have all that like deer meat, everything.
How is that?
Like if I was to just give it to you and not tell you what it was, you would just think that chicken. Like I know a lot of people say that, but you would think it's like a piece of chicken or something.
Wow. Okay, you got to try the gator now, Fernando. Recommended by Derwin James. Okay. Well, Derwin, you got your food now. Pretend you have virtual food. You're hanging out with the compas. By the way, do you know what a compa means in Spanish?
That's the guys.
There you go. Okay.
Hey, I took Spanish 3. I ain't gonna tell you why, but I took Spanish 3 now.
I'm kind of surprised. You might be the first one that's not Latino that knows that.
I know what that means. That's the guys, man.
Wow. Okay. Derwin, you're definitely a compa. So you're hanging out with us right now. Yeah. But DJ, just tell me, because I talked to you last week, how excited are you to go play in 2021? You're done with training camp. No more preseason games. Now is a real deal on to Washington.
I'm very excited, man. It's been a lot of hard work, I thank everybody, that's part of my team, that helped me get to this point. But man, I'm just excited, ready, man. A lot of like anxious, just ready to go play, man.
And Derwin, when I talked to you, I was trying to take you all the way back too. I was trying to figure out how did you learn to play so many roles on the field? Because I think you've played everything on defense besides nose tackle. I might be wrong now, but you're doing everything out there. You told me you play left tackle in Pop Warner. That's how you started.
Yeah.
Tell me some stories about being a left tackle. Were you as good as Rashawn Slater out there?
I don't know. I had me a couple pancakes because like my coach used to always like get hyped and get crunk. Like that used to make the coaches like get excited, especially in Pop Warner. Especially if we're skinny guys getting pancake blocks on the line. So, I got me a couple, just being more athletic and physical than guys. But, of course, now the linemen are a little different.
Yeah, I think you told me right after that you went back to being a skill player, a running
skill
back.
player. Yeah, they wanted the ball in my hands at the next year after that.
You know what's something I discovered about Derwin Gilbert a couple of years ago? He told me, Derwin, when you went into Florida State at 14 years old, what did you do that day when you first went to Florida State? What did you do that rarely nobody else does?
What that?
That you committed.
Oh, when I got my tattoo?
Yeah. No. When you went to Florida State to go take a visit, you committed right away at 14. Didn't you commit at 14 years old?
Yeah. I committed early, my freshman year of high school.
And like, what were other teams trying to come at you, trying to get you to?
Yeah, so after I committed to Florida State, because that was my favorite school growing up. When I committed to Florida State, then Miami came rolling in. Nick Saban came after that. Alabama came in, and then it was a couple schools like Clemson. They also came, but I told them I was good.
Was it hard to turn down Nick Saban after all the success you've seen him have with all the rings and all the championships?
I mean, the rings and stuff was cool, but I wanted to go to Florida State and get my own ring. I mean, those is Nick Saban rings. I couldn't do nothing about that. So I wanted to go to Florida State to try to work towards my own ring. But, Alabama is definitely not a bad school either.
Hey, Derwin, I don't think I got to ask you this a week ago, but you transferred in high school. I think you went from one high school to another to your hometown. What was that like going from, I guess, why did you start that high school and then going back to your hometown?
My mom, she kind of moved me away when I was in the 5th grade. She moved me away, helped me stay focused, and she moved my whole family, my sister, brother, everybody. And from 5th grade all the way up to 10th grade till I matured, then she finally let me go back home and graduate with my friends, so she kind of moved me away from 5th grade to 10th grade, telling me to stay focused, making sure I get all my work done. And it was a little different at first because I had to make new friends. But you know what type of guy I am. It wasn't that hard for me, you know what I mean, to kind of make new roles, new friends.
Were you the talker, Derwin?
What you say?
Were you always talking in class? Were you the one that
Yeah. I kind of, my early days, I kind of was the class, like, I get everybody going. I was the energy guy. The teacher, she kind of, had to let me know enough is enough sometimes. But it was fun, man. I wasn't, like, disrespectful or anything. I just was always, I'm the guy that gonna make everybody laugh, even when we're not supposed to be laughing at that time.
Derwin, that kind of reminds me of an interview we had yesterday, Fernando and I with Jim Trotter. You spoke to him from the NFL Network, and I think he figured out that you might be the first overall captain of the Chargers since Junior Seau that's playing defense. I guess tell me about your leadership skills. Where did you kind of develop that, and how special is that to kind of be known next to Junior Seau?
First of all, it's an honor to be able to be even mentioned in the same conversation as him because, everybody knows what type of player he was, man. So just to be in the same conversation with him, it's very amazing, man. But, I take credit in my leadership. I want to elevate the guys around me. I want to, hold everybody to that standard and just get better every day. And I feel like, you know what I mean? Me working back from all this adversity that I was going through, I feel like, guys just got so much respect for me and they love just playing around me.
When did you first meet Jalen Ramsey?
I met Jalen Ramsey my freshman year of my recruiting visit. Actually, he was my recruiting host when I was committed to Florida State. So I go up there my sophomore year, my junior year, and then finally my senior year when he was at school. Well, my senior year when I was in high school, he was up there already. And he was always my host, and he always showed love to me. So, it was cool.
So did you guys click right away?
Yeah, right away. When he used to, because in college, when you got your host, when you're coming in, I'm pretty sure how you guys know how that works.
Yeah.
He kind of the guy that shows you everything around and stuff. So, Jalen was my host, and it was a lot of fun, man.
So when did you guys like, and then you guys became like big brother, little brother?
Yeah. So I think it was my junior year of high school. And I think he was at Florida State at that time. It was my junior year. I think it was their first year when they won a national championship his freshman year, and it was just very exciting.
Hey, Derwin, now that I think about it, Jalen went back to number 5, right? And you were number 3 at Florida State. Any reason why you didn't go back?
Man, it was the prices are crazy. We ain't gonna discuss that. The price is just as crazy. They was charging me too much, man, for that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, hopefully you have a big time monster season, and then you get a fatter paycheck at the end of the year.
Man, I'm just trying to ball, man, but they was trying to take my head off, man, with those prices, trying to change that number.
Derwin, this year we feel like you're going to try and take heads off. I remember a couple of years ago, you told us, like after your rookie year, you were like, I want to hit more. I want to hit harder. And we're like, you didn't hit enough. And you're like, nah, I want more. How hungry are you now for this upcoming season?
I remember, man, just back in the interview in the spring, man. Yeah. I'm starving, man. Telling them guys I'm starving, and it's still to that point, man. I'm ready to get out there and play. It's been a lot of preparation and work up until this point. And man, like I said, man, I can't ready till we in Washington, and it's time for kickoff. They locked them gates, man.
Hey, Derwin, you're mentioning how you're itching to get out there, but I guess how competitive, how challenging is it facing Justin Herbert in practice? You got him as a rookie a year ago, but now he's a different quarterback, and you're out there healthy. How you guys been going at it, you and Herbert and your defense?
Man, we've been going at it. Man, our offense is a test every day, man. And I'm not just saying this. I believe our offense is one of the best in this league, and a lot of people are going to see that. And we go against them, and we hold ourselves to a standard on defense. We feel like we're going to be one of the better defenses in this league, the best defense in this league. So, just going against each other every day in practice. The throws are there with Herbert, man. If you're not there, you're not making the play. So, just going against that every day, and it's very fun, and it gets you ready for the games. It makes going against the other opponents that much easier.
Derwin, I got to tell you something, and I mean, I don't want to rat out Herbert, but he told us after the scrimmage that was not an interception by you, that he was down by contact.
Tell him. We always say in practice, because we're gonna play to the whistle. Like, whether the D-line claim they get a sack, if you throw the ball, if you attempt the ball, it's whatever happens. So if like we get a sack and they throw a touchdown, the offense is gonna celebrate the touchdown. They're not gonna count it as a sack. I always tell the guys, man, it don't matter. Like we play into the end.
Derwin, you made me nervous one day when we were at practice. We're on the sideline. Herbert's running towards the end zone, and it's you and Kenneth Murray coming full steam ahead. And I told Gilbert, I'm like, if that's a regular season game and that's the regular quarterback of the opposing
team, he better get down. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's getting launched into the third row.
That's all I'm gonna say, man. He better get down, man.
I wanted to ask you real quick about what David Mulugheta has meant to you, and it seems like he has you guys as a family, that you guys are all family to him. Is that kind of what it feels like when you're under David Mulugheta?
Man, David Mulugheta is, man, that's my big brother. It's not just my agent. That's like my big brother. I can call him like right now. Like we could join him on the Zoom call and it'll be like all love, man. I can call that man any time of the day. And, he always there in my corner, man. And he's never a guy that's going to tell me everything I want to hear all the time. That's what I like about him. He's, like, authentic. He real. He, like, sometimes, like, you may not want to hear the truth, but he going to give it to you exactly how he know it. So, that's why I got so much respect for him. And, like you said, with that family, we're big on that, family ties.
Hey, DJ, sorry, Fernando, I was going to say, DJ, that reminds me of last year when David went to your house after the injury, and Melvin Ingram, Casey Hayward, and Coach Anthony Lane. Like, how big was that to see those guys? People care about you and kind of lift your spirits up.
Man, it really showed me, who care about me a lot. When I'm going through adversity. When I'm vulnerable at the time. When I couldn't do nothing for myself at the time. Just to see at my lowest. So many people, so much support. Building me up. I just take thanks and credit for that. And man, I appreciate all those guys that you mentioned. It don't go unnoticed, and I feel like I'll be the same way if anything ever happened to any of those guys.
Derwin, was Jalen a big reason of why you decided to go with David as your agent?
Yes, Jalen was definitely a big reason because he was a guy much older than me. You know what I mean? And he kind of already gave me the rundown, the scoop on him. As I was going through everything in college, and I trusted Jalen, all the feedback he was giving me, and then just when I got to finally meet David and kick it with him. It was just like, it's like I feel like I knew this man for 10 years already. So like it was kind of cool. And you know, we've been tight ever since.
What should we expect from number 5 on the Rams this season?
Oh man, all pro corner, best corner in the league. I mean, he's a dog. He's gonna talk his trash. He's gonna let you know when he's locking your receiver up. And like I say, he's a dog, man. Every day of the week.
And Derwin, this is actually an NFL season preview podcast show. I guess, can I put you on the spot? I guess the AFC West, how's that looking for you?
Oh, the AFC West. I always love us. I love us, man. Like if I don't love us, who is? Like I love my squad. I love my guys. We trust our preparation. And like I said, we know we're in a tough division, but you know it's football. At the end of the day, we got to come out and compete. But I love my guys.
Does that get you excited? Getting to see across from you, it's Travis Kelce, Noah Fant, Darren Waller. How exciting is it to go up against those kinds of tight ends and have them all in the AFC West?
It's exciting because, like I said, I get those guys 2 times a year. So you know, I gotta come out and be on my P's and Q's every week. And like I said, I'm pretty sure they'll be looking for me too. It won't me just be looking for them.
Hey, DJ, I know you're busy. You're I guess recently you're a dad now.
I'm a dad, man.
Derwin Jr., is that the name?
No, Derwin James III.
Oh, okay, the third. Okay, you're the junior. I forgot about that. Okay, the third. Okay, before I let you go, how's that being a dad? I know you're busy and he's probably near you.
Oh man, it's different. And actually he's probably downstairs with his mom. And it's the best feeling in the world. I don't know if you guys have kids, but it's nothing like it, man. No plays like it. No moment in football has been like that moment. You know, just holding my own son, and you know, I cherish every moment of it.
Derwin, I remember during the draft process, it was said that your mom called you Pooh Bear.
Oh, don't you start this, man. You remember everything. Look at you remembering everything. Look at you.
Derwin, I'm going to tell you something I remember about
Look at you, bro.
I'm going to tell you something else, but what's your nickname for your son?
My nickname for my son right now, man, is I'm just calling him Trey, T-R-E, because he's the third, Trey.
Derwin, I'm going to tell you right now, when people ask me what's the one play from Derwin that you remember, I remember in Kansas City, that 2018 year, you guys are in Kansas City, Thursday Night Football. It's 3rd and 3. Patrick Mahomes hits Travis Kelce. It looks like it's going to be an easy walk for him to get a first down. You run up, grab him, pick him up, and drop him. And you looked at Travis Kelce and you said something. And that play for me will always be in my head about you. I just remember you said something to him. You were just aggressive. Everybody knew right then and there that you were coming, that Derwin James was going to be one of the best safeties in the NFL.
Oh yeah, man, that was a great moment, and like I said, man, that moment I love that game so much, man, because we came back and we battled. Came down to the wire, but I think that's the last time we beat them too. So, man, we need to come out and, like I say, play our brand of football, and I'm excited to be back, man. I'm excited to have the guys around me that we have, the coaches I have around me. You know, I'm just excited, man, and I can't wait the next week, man.
Derwin, we're so thankful to have you on Compas. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll definitely – I still love –
Hey, make sure they know I got that word right, because I know that's the guy.
Yeah, Compas. Compas Derwin.
Repeat it again. Derwin, what does Compas mean?
How you say it in Spanish? How you say it? I just understand.
Compas.
Compas?
Yeah.
Hey, Derwin, do you want to do a promo? Say, watch Compas on the beat?
Watch Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Love that. Thank you
so much. That's perfect.
Wow. So Dan and Daygo says it's time for Una Mas, and he is here. He is here. Howdy. He usually tells us when it's time for it. He throws us into Una Mas, but now we have him with us because we're going to go through our NFC predictions. We thought, who can we get? Well, who better than Dan and Daygo to break down the NFC, and who better to Gilbert, and all three Compas kind of break it down. So I'm going to give you guys a division. You're going to tell me the winner. And you can give us a little bit of something. So we're going to start in the NFC West. Who, Gilbert, is going to win the NFC West?
I go first?
Yeah, so it's Rams, 49ers, Cardinals, and Seahawks.
Okay. Well, you know, before, can I give one insult to Dan and Daygo? Because, you know, just for old time's sake.
Look at this stooge.
Oh, wait, we're on the same team again.
Okay. All of a sudden,
give it to him.
Then you want to come out and bury me. What's going on?
I just wanted to say that nobody else wanted to be on the show for the NFC portion, so we asked you, Dan. So thank you for jumping on.
You know what? I don't have to take this garbage. I can just leave.
No. Stay. We're a team. You're a great football mind.
All of a sudden, we're
You
a
know
team,
what?
huh, Rigoberto?
No, don't call me that. It's Gilberto.
I know
wish I had
Gilberto. I'm just
I
kidding.
wish I had a red card with me. So,
Okay.
oh my God, I was what I call him
Okay.
Rigoberto. Shut up,
Listen.
stop it. Okay, red card for
Just
Gilbert.
edit that part out.
We're
I
gonna go
guess.
with Dan and Daygo first. NFC
No.
West. NFC
Yeah, are
West.
you
Dan
kidding?
and Daygo.
Wow.
He barely introduces me, and you're over here grabbing a shovel to the back of my head. What the hell's going on, guy?
All right. Go.
All right, Dan and Daygo. Who's winning the NFC West?
I already know the Stooge is going to toe the favorite and just go, oh, Seattle, Russell Wilson cannot be stopped. Pete Carroll, so amazing. Just like he does for everything is the safe takes. But let me tell you something. Your boy Dan and Daygo is going to be out and wild today. I'm going to go with, honestly, probably the underdog of it. And it's not the Los Angeles Rams, so get the hell out of here. Don't mention me. Don't attack me. Oh, my God. I can't stand that garbage. It's a bunch of filth.
Brave.
You know who I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I kind of like them. They got a nice little receiver core with Hopkins, Kirk, and they got someone else, I think, recently. I just can't remember off the top of my. There you go. Yeah, they got AJ Green. Oh, yeah, they got him and JJ Watt. If they can keep both of those guys healthy and fresh, I think that's going to be good for Kyler Murray. Wow. Their offensive line was solid last year. They were really close last year. They just barely missed it. They're just in a really competitive division, so that's always tough. But I'm going to go with them, honestly. I think they might hit the ground running this year with that receiving core and everything else. I think they have a solid running back, so, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'll pick the
So
birds from the desert.
We're going Arizona. Dan and Dago's going Arizona Cardinals. Gilbert, who are you taking?
No, I just told you who he's taking.
Well, who did you? The Seahawks? No. Okay. I Russell Wilson is really good. DK Metcalf is really good. Jamal Adams is really good, but they're top heavy. They're kind of like the Chargers a little bit. Sorry for Dan and Daygo. Another insult your way, but I'm going surprise. I'm going with I like Derwin James, by the way. Good jersey.
Liar. You just buried his team.
Come on. Oh, yeah, a little bit. But I'm going with another person that Fernando really likes because he is a Bosa whisperer. I'm going with the 49ers. Coming back after 2 years, injuries. Nick Bosa is looking healthy out there, looking ripped at least, when he came to practices for the Chargers. He's got to play. Can I have like a loophole? If he doesn't play, that I can't be wrong. But if he plays, Nick Bosa.
Look at you trying to wiggle out already.
And speaking of the Chargers, maybe Trey Lance could be the next Justin Herbert. He comes in.
Whoa.
All right, we're letting.
It's my turn.
He's the big screen.
It's my show. It's my show.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
All right, so I went. You chose kind of like the older team, Dan, with the Cardinals. I guess Kyler is kind of young, but the rest of the team is kind of old. I'm going with the 49ers coming back. Kyle Shanahan, running back, NFC West champions 2021, San Francisco 49ers.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go with the LA Rams. I think the LA Rams defense, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, you have Jalen Ramsey. The only thing is you do lose Brandon Staley, who had that defense playing at a very high level last year. Can their new defensive coordinator, Leslie Frazier, right? That's the I can't remember.
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris. Thank you. Raheem Morris. I thought it was Leslie Frazier for some reason.
With the Bills.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, he is. I forgot about that. So Raheem Morris, he's been a solid defensive coordinator. I think he'll keep that defense. He'll keep that defense at probably a top 5 defense. Now, the only question is Matthew Stafford. Can Matthew Stafford adapt to having guys like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods? I remember in the back. I remember back in when he was with the Detroit Lions, he would throw it up to Megatron. He would throw it up to Brandon Pettigrew. Can he adapt to having these receivers who are your short yardage receivers are not really down the field? It's going to be a little bit more of the not dink and dunk, but it's going to be a little bit different. He has Van Jefferson. I think Van Jefferson's going to be a good receiver this year, but I'm going to have to go LA Rams for this pick. So,
wow, we're split.
So Dan, what?
We're split here, 3-way.
Yeah, we're split. Right. So
no Seahawks, by the way. No Seahawks.
Daygo Cardinals. Gilbert, both of you guys are going out on the limb. One says 49ers, the other one says Cardinals. I'll say the Rams. So it's going to be interesting. Now we move to the NFC North. Gilbert, who is going to win that division?
first again, thank you for that, Fernando, bringing it back.
Because it's his show, everybody.
Yeah, it is my show. Does it have to be the Packers again? I feel like the Packers always win that division. Are we all going to go that way? Because, I don't know, the Vikings have some issues as well. You know, they were pretty bad on defense. The Bears, I don't think they're ready yet. You know, Justin Fields and the Lions. It has to be, right? The Packers, I'm being boring. I'm proving Dan and Daygo right. I'm going boring in the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers coming back again. He played lights out a year ago. He had that mess, though, of can I be here, can I not? I don't know what that was about, but he's there. So the Packers should be good. So take Matt LaFleur, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and all those guys in the Wisconsin area. There you go. Packers.
I'm going to go next. Green Bay Packers. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I just don't think there's anybody else that can challenge what they're doing. And I think they've said it. It's the last dance. That's what Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are putting on there. So what is the last dance going to consist of? I don't think it's going to consist of what Michael Jordan and the 98 Bulls were able to do. But, hey, we'll see what they're going to do. Dan and Daygo, who you got?
You know what? I'll break the company line then. I'll be the Maverick. I'll be the Maverick out here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with the Bears for a few reasons. I think honestly, they're gonna. I think Andy Dalton's gonna come out and he might not be as good as he used to. He's not gonna be the red rifle from the Bengals, obviously. So I think they're probably gonna very quickly start hounding this coach about Justin Fields. And then, I don't know, maybe a doctor sneaks into the medical room and we get some witchcraft like that, like last time. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I think if he takes the field, I think they might have a chance. You know, the Bears are known historically as having, if nothing else, they're historically known as having a hard-hitting defense, just like the Steelers. I think Matt Nagy, this might be a make-or-break year. He's been out there for a while. People have been kind of hounding him, especially after the Trubisky stuff. I think this, and then one last thing, just to keep it short, because everyone says I go too long.
Thank you.
I think Aaron Rodgers is probably still very angry and salty about all the stuff in the offseason, and he might be extremely petty because he knows he can go to another team and challenge for the Super Bowl. He's like, well, I won't say Tom Brady caliber because no one's there, but he's that type of quarterback. So I think he might be like, you know what? I'm just going to come out, do my thing. We make it. We don't. And then next year I'm going to shove it in your face after I beat you in the playoffs.
Okay.
Actually,
the long game.
That's actually not
long game.
Okay, so 2 Green Bay Packers, 1 Chicago
Bears.
Okay.
Wow.
This one's going to be interesting. The NFC South. I'm going to go first because
take it.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady, that defense, that offense. There's nothing else. Even that special teams. There's nothing I can really say against it. I say Tampa Bay Buccaneers run away with it by week 10. Let's 10, go. Wow. Yeah, Dan and Daygo.
Week 10. Damn,
Jesus.
I'm over here trying to bury the Saints. I'm not. Look. I like Sean Payton and all them. I think Famous Jameis has some upside if he can handle his turnovers. No one's doubted that he's a good passer. He one time led the league in passing yards, touchdowns, but interceptions also. If they can handle those picks, they might challenge. But I'm not going to bet against Tommy. That's stupid. I don't bet against Tampa Bay over there. Especially because I hope we get a repeat of this year.
You're done. I'm on the big screen. Get out of here, Dan.
Peace out here. Bye-bye, Tyreek Hill.
All right, go.
All right. Man.
It's hard.
It's not really hard. I'm just trying to avoid the easy one because the Panthers, no. Falcons, no. Saints, I want to see Jameis. I want to see Jameis do something well, but their receiving core is, banged up. I don't see it. All right, 3 for 3. Tampa Bay, like Dan says, Buccaneers, run it back.
All right, here we go. Everyone's favorite division, the NFC East. I'm gonna go Dan and Daygo. Let's start off with you. Who you got?
I cannot believe this division year.
And remember, he's wearing a cowboy hat.
Gets a playoff team. Hey, don't say that either. Don't try and lump me in with the Cowboy fans. I got my own delusions over here as a Charger fan. I don't need to be added to them, but that's all right. You know what? For this fire disaster of a division that's always freaking playing musical chairs over here trying to see.
We don't
who
need a
wants the
promo,
playoff
kid.
spot. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go honestly with the Washington football team. I think they have a solid defense. And look what they were able to do last year with the Rolodex at quarterbacks. I think Fitzpatrick is going to give them some stability maybe there. And if he can just play like he did in Miami, because, I mean, he was outshining someone's boy out there, some youngster, some young lad. Couldn't handle the heat out there, unlike my boy, Justin Herbert, but that's all right.
Dan and Daygo, since you have Washington winning the division real quick, who wins next Sunday, Chargers or Washington?
Oh, please, don't offend me either. Don't offend me either.
We didn't even get a response there, but we have a week to go for that,
I understand
Dan.
his response.
Okay, and I'm surprised.
I can tell you why we're
no. Let's wait a week. Let's wait a week.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right,
I can cut promos for days on my team. Don't you worry.
Hey, I'm on the big screen. Show some respect, please.
There it is. Okay, take
Daddy
it
boy.
easy, Napoleon.
Okay, so all right. I don't want to be like Dan and Daygo. Nobody should be like Dan and Daygo. I'm surprised you know what a Rolodex is. So credit to you there, by the way, youngster. But speaking of old people, I'm not. I just call myself old. Damn. Okay. Cowboys. They're gonna be like the '90s. They're gonna win that division. Dak Prescott seems to be healthy. I'm gonna trust Jerry Jones. I don't feel safe about this at all already. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Mark Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. That offense is stacked. Defense a little suspect. They were pretty bad a year ago, but they added a couple pieces. Micah Parsons. Why not Big D? Dallas. They usually kind of do well after every 3 or 4 years. So this is their year.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna go with either one of your picks. I'm gonna go the New York Giants.
Oh, really?
The New York Giants have stacked their defense up. They made some good signings. I think their defense is going to be a lot better. You know who's been very improved from getting traded from Cleveland, New York, has been Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers really taking a role there with the Giants. I think the defense is going to be a lot better. It all is going to come down to Danny Dimes. They've got him the receiver, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay. They spent money on Kenny Golladay. Saquon Barkley is coming back. Evan Ingram's at tight end. This is make it or break it for Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones. Is this going to be the year that he finally puts it all together, comes out and shines, and maybe takes him to the playoffs? I do think this is going to be the year. I don't know if he's going to do it consistently for years to come, but I really do think that this is going to be the year where he puts it together and he takes the Giants to the playoffs. I just think that he's going to be able to lead this team differently. So I think they're going to win the division. So now we go.
They can keep them upright, though.
I feel like you just chose the Giants because you want to be different. Come on.
Well, the offensive line's going to be key for them, but I just think that this is a make it or break it year for him. The way that Dan and Daygo said it's a make or break it year for Matt Nagy, I think it's the same thing for Daniel Jones. I think if they don't make the playoffs and he has a bad year again, because last year you saw him, he had that breakaway against the Eagles. He trips and falls and he's not able to make it into the end zone.
Became the meme of the year out there.
So I think that he needs to have a big year. If not, the Giants are going to say, "All right, dude, laters, we're going to go get a new rookie quarterback." So I really do think, and supposedly the next year is stacked with a lot of rookie quarterbacks. So that's going to be the interesting part about it. But okay, so now we're on to the main event of the evening. That is your Super Bowl predictions. It's going to be out in La La Land. So, folks, you're going to see Gilbert. You're going to see myself. You may see a little Dan and Daygo during Super Bowl week out here. So, definitely, we're gonna be out and seeing what's out here in LA. But I want your Super Bowl predictions. I'm going to go with Gilbert first. Gilbert, what is your Super Bowl prediction?
Okay. The NFC is going to get a little tricky. I chose the San Francisco 49ers to win the NFC West, but I'm going to have the Seahawks coming out the wild card out of nowhere, winning a bunch of games. I forget the format now, 7 teams. You win 3 games. Russell Wilson, DK. They surprised everybody. They beat the Packers on the way. They beat the Buccaneers. Seahawks are representing the NFC. You got to be a little bold out there. Fernando, I get a little crazy with the bold pick. So I'm going Seahawks to win the NFC, and then I'll get a little, predictable in the AFC. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. The Bills seem pretty stacked. They will come at the AFC East. They've been, tortured for many, many decades. They went to 4 Super Bowls in a row in the 90s and lost all 4. Who does that? They come back, make that right. I think the Bills win the Super Bowl overall against the Seahawks.
All right, we're going to go here. I'm ready for this one. Dan and Daygo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bold picks over here. Like 10 interceptions and Nasir Hatterley.
Aren't you a Chargers fan? Support that.
Hey, take it easy. I'm realistic, too. That's why do you think I drink so heavily on Sundays now?
All
But
right,
anyway, for Super Bowl predictions, let's
start with
see.
your NFC since we're doing NFC.
Yeah, NFC. And are you kidding me? Over here, this guy thinks Russell Wilson can beat Tampa Bay. Get the hell out of here. I honestly think the Buccaneers have the same team they did last year. And I think, honestly, we saw how dominating, and I mean dominating, they were against everyone's beloved Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes over here making excuses for that man, but that's all right. They dominated them in the playoffs. They have the same team, really. So I don't see anyone really coming out. The team that challenged them the most were the Packers and the Washington football team, both under 10 points in those games. I don't see really anyone. I don't see the Seahawks. I don't see the Packers. I don't see really anyone beating Tom Brady in the playoffs like that. Because honestly, to me, betting against Tom Brady in the playoffs is like betting against Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League. And that is just
all right,
stupid.
AFC.
You don't do that. Okay. Yeah, Buccaneers are going to be there. Part of me wants to say my team, but I mean, that's what my heart wants. My liver doesn't.
Delusional.
No, I can't do it because if we would go, I would not want to see Brady in the Super Bowl. It would break my heart.
Can you imagine if Justin Herbert beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
I would cry. I would cry and my liver would die. That's what would happen. I would be going crazy. I would be saying so many things to everyone in San Diego, but that's all right. We'll save that for later if it happens. But anyway, for the AFC, okay, you had the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, who else am I gonna pick? I don't want to say the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs go back.
Cleveland.
I think Mahomes is gonna cripple.
You're not prepared. That's what we asked you last, Dan. Come on.
Mahomes is gonna cripple that franchise with his contract. So yeah, you know what? For now, I like that. I'm gonna go with the dark horse. I'll go with Cleveland. I think Baker Mayfield and all of them probably make their stride this year. It's that coach's, what's his name? The offensive coordinator for the Vikings. What was his name though? Yeah, Stefanski. Stefanski's second year. So I think maybe this is a year they make their stride. Hopefully Odell can get past his whatever he's got going on over there. Who wins what? The Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl.
Tom Brady. I'm not betting against Brady.
All right. So for mine, I thought about this over and over again, and I think we're going to get a Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl.
Boring.
And why?
Predictable. Two really good teams.
Yeah.
Huh?
Two really good teams. Like Dan got Cleveland unpredictable, and I got the Seahawks unpredictable. You went safe.
I just like when you look at the football aspect of it, I just don't see how I can choose any other team. Cleveland has a lot of weaknesses, in my opinion. I don't think anybody in the NFC can challenge Tampa Bay, like Dan and Daygo said. If they're healthy, I don't think anybody challenges them. And last year, Tom Brady was kind of no off season. It was kind of weird. So the way he was able to come up, he's gonna have a whole year with this team.
The problem is the AFC is wide open.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that the AFC is wide open.
That's why I don't even know who to pick, really.
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl. I don't think Buffalo's gonna be able to that defense, I think, is gonna control what Buffalo does. And I don't think Buffalo's defense is good enough to stop the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm gonna have to go Tampa Bay. I think they win the championship. And Tom Brady wins his 9th Super Bowl championship.
The father of the league, the owner,
number 7,
the commissioner.
right?
No, I thought he was at number 8.
He is at 7.
He's at 7.
No, he's 7.
Oh, 7. My bad. Okay, so it'd be his 8th
Dan and Daygo's title also.
No. It'd be his 8th Super Bowl victory. Wow, that'd be incredible. So yeah, 8
sounds
Super
like
Bowl.
a lot.
The GOAT.
I just don't see who else can beat him. Really, I mean, if you really look at it, like It's just going to be impossible. But hey, that's why they play the game. That's
they don't
why,
repeat in the NFL, Fernando. I don't remember the last time a team repeated.
I think it was Brady. In the early 2000s.
Like 20 years
so you
ago.
See?
Yeah, Brady
history repeating itself.
You live in the past, Dan. I know you love the past, Tim.
I do. I love it. Good old days.
This was honestly awesome. We broke, man. What a carne asada did we have? We had Gregg Rosenthal from the NFL Network. We had Derwin James from the Chargers, and then we finished it off with a little Dan and Daygo. Gilbert, what a perfect day!
what a nosedive would happen. What happened there?
Nosedive. I wasn't the one who came on burying people here, Borto. Did you change your profession from journalist to grave digger all of a sudden? Undertaker?
I'm sorry. That was actually pretty fun for me to get involved because Gregg knows his stuff. We had to listen to Derwin because he's great as well. We got to chime in here and have fun. So I like that.
Yep, that was a lot of fun. Definitely. Thank you guys so much. Again, guys, don't forget, follow us on Twitter. I'm at Real F Ramirez. He's at Dan Daygo, and he is at G Manzano24. Follow Instagram. We are at Compas on the Beat. Subscribe to YouTube. Do it all. We love checking this out. And again, this is our new format moving forward. Friday, don't forget our preview. Friday or Thursday, Gilbert, is our preview show.
Actually, we should have thought about that. We can release it Friday morning.
Friday morning, we have a special guest, a blast from the past, to talk Washington football team. We're very excited about this and everything we got going on for you guys. Don't forget, Sunday after the game, we will have a Compas post game recap. Hopefully Dan and Daygo can chime in a little bit to see. We'll see what
I'll be ready to go.
We'll see how his condition is after the game. But we're definitely excited about everything. We're definitely excited about everything that Compas is doing. Thank you so much for rocking with us. But for right now, Gilbert, it's time. Vámonos.
Ya nos vamos, pues vámonos.
Vámonos.
That's my thing. Come on.